Oh, are you representing him for the probation review hearing?
I am.
All right, pause right there. We're kicking off a probation review hearing. Now, these hearings aren't about guilt or innocence. They're about progress. Has the defendant done what they promised the court? Or are old habits creeping back in? Let's see how Lance Shaw's story unfolds.
Sugar.
I think we're just going to have to do Mr. Roseland without the jail, Mr. Harrington. And I'm just kind of going. We will go on the record in the matter 13 CF 06, 13 CF 168, State of Wisconsin versus Lance Shaw. The state appears through DOC agent Gretchen Anabis in person. We have Mr. Shaw in person with counsel Renee Langrath. We're set today in the matter for probation review hearing. Ms. Langrath, I guess Ms. Anabis, you want to update me and then I'll go and see what Ms. Langrath has to provide?
Yes, Your Honor. I have recently been assigned Lance's agent. I've met with him 3 times. He has overall been doing well. Still working on getting a payment for his restitution. His last known payment was $218 of $25, which was $125.
Restitution, that's legal talk for paying back the damage you caused. It's often the toughest part of probation, especially for someone still trying to find steady work. Notice how the judge's tone softens here. They're not just looking at the numbers, they're reading the effort behind them.
Still does not have a full-time job. However, has indicated at his last appointment, he had an interview at the Webster lumberyard.
Excellent. And I know that you relapsed a few months ago.
Yep.
And that kind of caused a little bit of a setback for you. And so how are you doing with your recovery? What are you doing?
I'm doing well. I got an appointment on April 7th. I go back to counseling at Aurora.
Okay.
I've been going to the Thursday nights. Well, I just started doing that again at the Crossroads Church for
Excellent.
AA. And I'm going on about 2.5 weeks now since the last time I've used. And I got another job offer. Just this morning, I ran into a construction guy that knows my work. He asked what I was doing. I says, well, I'm looking for a job. He says, well, you can start tomorrow if you want. And it's a legit deal, 40 hours a week, maybe overtime. He said 25 an hour starting, get my tool belt, my tools together. And so I'm definitely going to do that.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That's promising.
Right.
Now, this is one of those moments that could go either way. The classic redemption arc crossroads. Lance isn't just talking about work. He's talking about rebuilding trust. But 2.5 weeks clean? In recovery, that's both a triumph and a tightrope.
Right. It's just like, it was weird just how things happen, and I just happened to meet him at the right time. And so.
And hit it harder with the AA, with those types of things, because especially if you just recently had another relapse, you could probably use a little bit more support. And have you looked for a sponsor?
I have 2 sponsors.
You have 2 sponsors?
Yep.
And reach out to them. That's what they're there for, anytime.
The one is always at the Thursday night meeting, and the other one, he coaches baseball in Spooner. So like there's times when, it's hard to get a hold of him because he's busy coaching and stuff, but I went and cooked maple syrup with him though, and it was pretty fun.
Well, that does sound fun. Okay, so what are you thinking about? What are we thinking? What's the plan?
Judge, as my client just stated, he did get a job offer from RPS Construction in Washburn County. He did have an interview with the Webster lumberyard. That position requires a CDL, but he would have to go to the Rice Lake Tech School to get that, and that is an upfront $1,700 cost. He does have a employment opportunity here with Barb Frederick. She's in the courtroom. She's planning on hiring him to build a deck in a 3-car garage for her. She's moving up here from Illinois. She would actually like to hire my client to go down to Illinois and help her move stuff up here. So he'll obviously need to get a travel permit for that. So he's really getting some good opportunities here. The kind of the holdback for my client is his trade is construction, and there's a road ban right now until the middle of May. So I anticipate the middle of May, things are going to be a lot more prosperous for him as far as job opportunity. This is my first hearing with Mr. Schaff, and he explained to me that at the previous court hearing, or maybe it was the hearing before that, that the court was possibly entertaining a lump sum, some sort of a lump sum payment up front, and then the rest would be converted to a civil judgment. So I would just like to inquire with the court if that is an option for my client. He did say that even though there has been some job prospects lately, it has been difficult to get work because he's been on probation for a long time, and that's kind of hindering his progress. But he is looking at trying to get a loan or some.
Smart move from defense counsel here, trying to negotiate a lump sum restitution deal. If approved, that could shorten Lance's probation, giving him a real shot at freedom sooner. But judges are cautious. They need proof this isn't just talk, it's follow through.
Other way to be able to get some upfront money so he can get this taken care of. I did talk with DOC about that, and DOC would be supportive if he could pay a lump sum, some percentage of the probation so he could discharge, and then the rest would convert to civil judgment. I'm not sure what the court's position on that is.
Generally, I look at 60%. I'm trying to see. What's the total restitution? Is it the $9,270, Ms. Anabis?
That's what I have on 13 CF 06, and then for 13 CF 168, I have $14,527.
Oh, there's a lot there. So that's going to be a lot. Forgot there's two separate cases. And I need to find the victims. Holy, they made it easy. We do not do that. Here we go. Well, what we can do, Ms. Langrath, is he can just work. He's getting back to work. You do need to start making your monthly payments,
Right.
And getting towards getting that paid.
And that'll start as soon as I get my first paycheck. I'll bring her a money order or whatever, then we can maybe do a wage assignment, I guess.
That would probably be the best. And we can have another hearing. This is the time to do work.
Everything's starting to pick up now, yep.
Exactly.
For sure.
And that's what we want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a hearing for probably middle of summer. But Ms. Anabis, if you're not receiving at least the minimum payments, and I'm going to say starting in May, then you need to let me know so we can get in here a whole lot sooner.
I will do that, Your Honor.
But we can schedule it for July 28th at 2 o'clock, July 28th at 2 o'clock, just for another probation review hearing to see where you are and making payments, see if you were able to start saving a big chunk, and to see where we can go from there. Again, the whole thing with the restitution is something that legally the court cannot ever waive or get rid of. The victims can. I don't even know where these victims are or what. And you can do, if you've changed your life or you've made an impact, or you can show that you've done things, the victims can waive some of the restitution if they wish to do so. But it's nothing that the court can ever waive. You will always owe that in some way, shape, or form, and it will be always collectible.
And there it is, the gavel moment of truth. The judge reminds everyone, restitution isn't optional. You can change your life, get a job, even earn forgiveness, but debts to victims don't just vanish. Still, for Lance, this hearing wasn't about punishment. It was about possibility.
So let's see, July 28th at 2:00. Again, Ms. Anabis, if you're not receiving regular payments, let me know so we can get in here sooner.
I will certainly update the court.
All right, thank you. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Mr. Harrington, we have Mr. Roseland.
Yeah, let's go there.